Hmm. Hello. Okay. James, my stats have tanked. So either YouTube doesn't like this or something. Um, I don't know what the deal is, but yeah, my stats have absolutely tanked since we've been doing this Bible study. So I'm just going to assume that means we're doing something right. And I'm losing people, and because I've also lost some subscribers, so I'm assuming I'm losing the people I need to lose. And hopefully it's helping you and me. I know you're
Yeah,
still
I've actually seen uptick in views.
Hi, Sissy May from Alabama. All right. So, if you guys wouldn't mind sharing this out to your friends, and letting people know that we're doing this, and hopefully there'll be some other people that will be interested. We are not Bible teachers. Shelly over at There's No Place Like Home has been getting the dickens lately. She had to block somebody recently. Actually, we were just finally saying, Shelly, block.
Yes.
It was bad. It was like, no, you don't need to be putting up with this. Shelly and Emmy and I work under the authority of our husbands. And so we are not here to like teach you anything. We are here to learn with you. So if you're a man and you come on to this and you don't like to hear women talking about the Bible or reading the Bible, then you just need to move on. You don't need to leave us a comment about it. Yeah. And if you are here to learn with us, then we appreciate that. And make sure to leave comments if you have questions or insights about the scriptures that we're reading as well. We don't have Catherine with us today, and she can talk our ears off. And notoriously, this Bible study ends up going in all kinds of different directions. So we're having fun with this. Yeah, neither Jesus nor the apostles were Bible scholars. Exactly. Isn't that amazing how today we think that everybody's got to have some kind of a degree to know anything? I was having a discussion. I'm going to babble now. I was having a discussion in the comments in Facebook on a post today about the doctors throwing the cop out of Dr. Google, can't make up for what they got with their degree. And the meme that I had shared said something along the lines of, my 20 years experience with this, autoimmune disease or whatever is nothing compared to your 1 hour lecture that you got while you were getting that degree. And yeah, it was a funny meme. If it hasn't made it around to you yet, it's on my profile.
Hasn't yet.
And so I got a really good comment on it, and I'm like, yeah, doctors commenting that really frustrates me because we can find these same studies and research that they get if they even keep up with the research. I mean, and I'm not saying, I'm sure there are doctors out there that try to keep up, but there's a lot of research being done on a regular basis. They can't even keep up with everything, right? And for the idea that they're going to be able to keep up with every single thing, yeah, oh, that's a good one. Put that up on the screen. See that one. Good job.
Yeah, that's a good one. That is a good one.
I mean, they are automatically assuming that none of us can read APA resources.
To get my nursing degree, I had to take a whole research class. I know how to read medical research.
I got some information so I can learn about APA research for writing purposes. And whenever I was looking into AP for the newspaper, I ran into APA, which is research writing, and it's a little different thing. But somebody who is diligent with just basic reading comprehension can get the gist. They always start out with what their goal is in the research, and they always end with a conclusion. So, and this stuff in between just kind of gives you that how they got from their goal to the conclusion that they came to. It's not that hard to read.
No,
Some of it is a little harder to understand if you're not, in this, but you can get the gist of it, right? And I was talking to one doctor recently with a friend of mine, and he said, well, he got puffy and was, well, those research papers are hard to understand. And I'm like, yeah, but it'll give us more questions that we can ask you to clarify on these things that we're not sure about. So, I'm not expecting to read the research paper and just understand the whole thing. I don't even think the researchers understand everything that they're doing. That's why they keep researching. Duh.
So the problem is the doctors don't want the questions because then they have to admit that they're not keeping up.
Yes. Yeah, it shows that they're not. And, and I understand they can't keep up with everything. And we need to be understanding that they can't keep up with everything. There's a lot of body, and God created it miraculously. And if anybody who thinks they know it all about it is run. Run.
Yes. Agreed.
And we should have that same attitude about the Bible. That is the same attitude that we have. God put the Bible here for all of us to either read or listen to read, because that first chapter in Revelation says that anybody who listens, even just listens to it being read, is going to receive a blessing. So, you don't go into it saying, oh, I'm going to understand all of this, because you'll quickly find out otherwise. The more I read, the less I understand.
Yes. Well, and I mean, even going back to that proverb of like, it is to the glory of God to conceal a matter, it's to the glory of kings to reveal a matter, or to seek out a matter. And it's like, that's what we're doing. We just keep digging and digging. And like I think we talked about this last week, where it says, we're talking about the word of God is living and active. And it's like, that word is energy. It's like, it's not that the words change, but it's like how it changes us changes. Like, it keeps going and keeps deeper and deeper. It doesn't end. It's like, it's amazing.
It is. It is. I absolutely agree. It is amazing. I love it. God's word is amazing. Okay. And I think it's my turn to read.
Go for it.
All right. Now it came about in the 6th year, on the 5th day of the 6th month. And the 6th month is about the time period that it is now. The 6th month would be about from April. So you're talking about August. So it's about this time of the year. As I was sitting in my house with the elders of Judah sitting before me, that the hand of the Lord, and this would be, what would that's
Adonai Yahovah.
Adonai Yahovah. So Lord is Adonai, and of course the capital God is going to be Yahovah.
Right.
Fell upon me there. Then I looked, and behold, something like the appearance of a man. From his waist downward there was the appearance of fire, and from his waist and upward like the appearance of a glow, like gleaming metal. And he extended the form of a hand and took me by the hair of my head, and the Spirit lifted me up between the earth and heaven and brought me in the visions of God to Jerusalem, to the entrance of the north gate of the inner courtyard, where the seat of the idol of jealousy, which provokes the jealousy, was located. And behold, the glory of the God of Israel was there, like the appearance which I saw in the plain. Oh my goodness. Wow. Then he said to me, Son of man, raise your eyes now toward the north. So I raised my eyes to the north, and behold, the north of the altar, to the north of the altar gate, was this idol of jealousy at the entrance. I have to know what the idol of jealousy is. I cannot go further. I cannot go further. Okay. This is Donnie to getting.
I bet it's an Asherah, probably, because that's what they had everywhere. Those Asherahs everywhere. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
I bet it was too. Where was the first place that it came up? Idol of jealousy. Was that the first spot that it came up in verse 3?
3? Yes.
Okay. I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to pull up the lexicon. Screen share. Probably should have just had the lexicon on this one. Okay, so that's verse 1, 2, 3. Come on, go away. Stupid pop-up ads. Good grief. Me in the earth and heaven. Did it really mean lifted me up by my... Oh, this said by his head. Instead of
mine says the lock of my head.
The rock of the tassel of my head. That is okay. Just take me out there like a 4-year-old with her baby doll. Yep. Mercy, idol of jealousy. Okay. We'll look at that one, and we will look at that one. Okay.
Yeah, notice it says uncertain derivation from an unused word in the thing next to it.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So 566 is semel, S-E-M-E-L. It is an image or a statue, uncertain derivation. It's been used as figure, idol, image. It's only been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places in the Bible. Deuteronomy 4:16, 2 Chronicles 33:7, 2 Chronicles 33:15, and Ezekiel 8:3 and 8:5.
Okay. Well, where is it? Because Deuteronomy is probably going to be what gives the biggest clue, because I vaguely remember reading that, but so Deuteronomy.
It does tie it to Phoenician, a Phoenician image. So let me look at Deuteronomy 4:6. Okay, Deuteronomy 4:6. I'm not putting this on a complete share screen. I guess I ought to put it on a complete share screen, because I'll let you watch the comments and let me know if there's any comments. But,
okay.
Oh, maybe this will do it. Share. Maybe I can share it like this now. Okay. We'll go back and forth. Yay! Okay.
Yay!
Figured it out. Okay. So Deuteronomy 4:6. Yeah, it's using it as figure here. Lest you corrupt and make for yourselves a carved image, the form of any figure, the likeness of male or female. Huh. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then the jealousy part. See, here's what it says on this smell. Now you guys can see it. Image or statue. And down here in the Brown Driver Briggs, generally image or statue, Phoenician, feminine.
Well, okay, so it's probably the Phoenician version of an Ashera would be my guess. I mean, like
Yeah.
because
Ishtar.
that's yeah,
And then the jealousy part of it is Kana. And it's several times in the Bible, and it looks like it's usually jealousy. Here in Second Kings, it's zeal,
zeal, yeah,
envy,
that's interesting.
anger, zeal, passion,
Yeah,
rivalry. Interesting.
that is very interesting. Very, very interesting, actually.
Yeah,
Because we were talking
absolutely.
about that yesterday and today about like zeal, but I
Really?
forgot to look. I forgot to look and see what word it was.
Hmm. Anger image provoking to anger, especially in battle of God for his people. Ardor of anger. Interesting.
Very.
So, idol of hmm.
Because that where it wasn't Deuteronomy, that was like that warning, right? Whereas he was saying like when you do this, like this is what's gonna happen, and then it's like they did it.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I wonder if it was Ishtar. An Ishtar
But
thing.
that would make sense to me, especially if they're in like Babylonia, because or well, this is in the middle of Babylon, which came out of Phoenicia, did it not? Like they overtook the Phoenicians or adopted some of their practices. Maybe I can't remember.
Oh, good grief. All the pop-ups. All the pop-ups. Yeah, I don't think that's what we're wanting. Well, I think what we're talking about, if I would quit getting so sidetracked, I think what we're talking about here is the Medes and the Persians are coming. So, yeah, maybe we should keep reading, Donita. Keep reading. Okay. The North Gate was this idol of jealousy that at the entrance that has Donita so sidetracked. And he said to me, Son of man, do you see what they are doing? The great abominations which the house of Israel are committing here, so that it would be far from my sanctuary, but yet you will see still greater abominations. Then he brought me to the entrance of the courtyard, and when I looked, behold, a hole in the wall. And he said to me, Son of man, now dig through the wall. So I dug through the wall, and behold, an entrance. This sounds like fun, because this totally sounds like, archaeological stuff to me. So, yes, I'm getting sidetracked again. All right. So I entered. No. Let's see. Where am I? Oh my goodness.
Dig through the wall. So I dug through the wall.
Behold, an entrance. And then he said to me, Go in and see the wicked abominations they are committing here. So I entered and looked, and behold, every form of crawling thing and animal and detestable thing with all the idols of the house of Israel were carved in the wall all around. And standing in front of them were 70 elders of the house of Israel with Jehaziah, the son of Shaphan, standing among them, each man with his censer in his hand. And I think that would be like a incense, right? Maybe, or a lamp, like a lantern, or an incense thing of some sort.
Yeah.
And the fragrance of a cloud of incense was rising. Then he said to me, Do you see, Son of man, what the elders of the house of Israel are doing in the dark? each man in the rooms of his carved images. This sounds like Washington, D.C. to me. For they say, the Lord does not see us. The Lord, and this is again Yahweh or Jehovah, has abandoned the land. And he said to me, yet you will see still greater abominations which they are committing. Then he brought me to the entrance of the gate of Yahweh's house, which was toward the north. And behold, women were sitting there weeping for Tammuz. Okay, this right here. Okay, and this is in the 6th month. So I've always thought that the weeping of Tammuz was Lent, but this is in August. So, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
That is interesting.
So, and I think it was Michael Brood that said the women weeping for Tammuz, that was Lent, the beginnings of Lent. But this is definitely in about the time of August. It's before the because the Feast of Trumpets is in the 7th month, which septa means 7th month. So that's why I'm doing the math here. So that was not what was happening here. That's interesting. And he said to me, do you see this, Son of Man? Yet you will see still greater abominations than me. In the inner courtyard of Yahweh's house, and behold, at the entrance to the temple of Yahweh, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men with their backs to the temple of the Lord, while their faces were toward the east. And they were prostrating themselves eastward toward the sun. And he said to me, do you see this, Son of Man? Is it a trivial thing for the house of Judah to commit the abominations which they have committed here, that they have filled the land with violence and provoked me to anger repeatedly? Yet behold, they are putting the twig to their nose. That's interesting. Therefore, I indeed will deal in wrath. My eye will have no pity, nor will I spare. And though they cry out in my ears with a loud voice, yet I will not listen to them. Very interesting stuff here. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I remember reading this with my children, and it was just kind of like, all right, well, what's going on?
There is a lot going on. Okay, the twig to their noses, possibly an obscene gesture toward God. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I'd love to.
My guess is it's probably an idiom of some sort.
Yeah, that's got to be something that you only really understand in Hebrew. I wonder what Nehemiah Gordon would have to say about that.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Interesting. But yeah, he's sitting here watching all these things. So that is very interesting. So the weeping for Tammuz was in August, so that cannot be Lent. So
yeah,
I stand corrected there.
But then what? But we know there's a connection there with the Easter thing. So what is that?
Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, I don't know. This is interesting too. This is the 5th day of the 6th month, and I think it was the Ezekiel 33:3 trumpet. The trumpet guy was talking on TikTok the other day about, was he talking about August 5th or August 6th being something special?
I think he was, but
he was. He absolutely.
But what was it? I don't remember what it was.
It was interesting. I can't remember if I shared it in the community. But yeah, he was talking about that day is a specific special day, because he grew up and his dad was a high ranking Mason and had come to the Lord. And he has very interesting. I don't even agree with myself on a regular basis. So of course I don't agree with him on everything. But he has an interesting perspective on this stuff. So
He
yeah, when
does.
we're talking about the 6 month, that is
Yeah.
August. That is, think about the things that have been happening the last couple of days. So today is August 7th, if you're watching it later, 2024. And in the last 2 days, the 5th and 6th, there have been some like major things happening in the Middle East. And we're basically on the brink, supposedly, of World War III. I really have no doubt that we are.
Yeah.
I have no doubt that we are at this point. And then, supposedly, yesterday, the stock market crashed. So Paul hasn't looked it up. He calls it the funny papers. He's usually watching it every evening. And
Yeah.
so let's see.
Yeah. Did you see Sissy's question? It says, could some of the religious leaders back then have been doing Baal sacrifices in the temple of God? And I think I think they were doing it from what we're seeing here. Maybe not in the temple, but like
Just outside the gate.
temple, right? Like right
Yeah,
outside,
because
because
if
there
you
was like a
look at where the temple is, let me pull up. Uh, yeah, let me pull it up. I'm getting where I can almost navigate this thing.
That's good because I'm not. Someone needs to be able to.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna pull this. So, oops, we need to go in. Like I said, almost. Jerusalem. Hopefully, I don't make you guys too dizzy. So,
I'll just close my eyes until you're finished. Tell me when you're there.
okay. Because the temple, let's see, where is it? Community garden. There's the museum and the university. I was just here the other day. Let me do. Let's just do this. That'll put me right where I wasn't too far away. Okay, so we're north and south here. Here's the temple. And if I know right what I'm talking about, the gate is just right there. I believe. I don't know if this will show it or not.
Yeah, there it is.
Right there. There's the gate. So this is the eastern gate right here. And then, oops, no. Oh, how did I? Yeah! I know, it's terrible. I'm so sorry. Then I think the north gate would be here somewhere. It put me way down there. I don't know what I'm doing. I just had to brag about how good I thought I was doing lately. I just had to.
Pride goes before a fall.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I think this whole area here is like the Temple Mount, Old Jerusalem, is what I think. So the northern gate, let's see, reset to the north, would be over here. This is that eastern gate that is closed up, that Yeshua is supposed to come through in his final entry whenever that happens. So the northern gate is up here, so it would have been out here somewhere. So
I know it's like it's hard to imagine because it's like, what did it really look like back then? You know, like
yeah. So, yeah. And I'm
yeah.
wanting to do a video on what's actually underneath here because the trumpet guy again, he showed something under. There's like a temple underneath. There's actually like a temple or a cathedral or something underneath this, and so it makes you think of this whole Ezekiel thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really does. It really does.
Yep.
So very, very interesting.
Well, and how
you have to remember in the Bible, all of the Baals, that's kind of a generic word for any of them. Pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
They were all basically called Baals. So
yeah, because it means Lord, right? Like lowercase L, Lord, or something like
yeah,
that.
something like that. Something like that. I think there's more to it.
Because I was just thinking, I like Tammuz and Bel have like some kind of connection there too, like that I'd seen before. And she's asking, was a Jewish temple in a different location than where we've been told it was? And I don't think it was. But it could have been. Like we don't.
Yeah,
know for sure.
People are looking into it having been over here in the U.S. and things like that.
Yeah, we did some digging on that, and we can't find like some good
yeah
evidence for some of it.
Yeah, so. There's evidence of what is in Israel actually being Israel. Now, the people who are running it right now are not, and I'm going to be doing a video for tomorrow on who is there right now. I think we lost Emmy for a moment. Our internet has been going in and out than it's been. But this place here, this is Mount Moriah, is what this is. This is where Abraham went up onto this mountain to sacrifice Isaac.
Yeah.
And there is a rock here, this dome of the rock thing. There's actually a rock, like a huge stone that is completely separate from the rest of the area that is underneath this Dome of the Rock temple that they don't know how it got there. And it is, yeah, this whole Dome of the Rock thing sits on it. And supposedly it is covering the Well of Souls. So, and then underneath that, there's actually a temple of its own that the Romans had, like Roman mosaics and stuff down there, and they were protecting it. So yeah, I need to do some more research into that and get a video done on all of that, because it's very interesting, the history behind here. So yeah, because we still have the gates of the city around here, I think it's very likely that the temple probably was right here.
Yeah, because aren't they trying to rebuild like right next to the dome or something, or recently got permission to do something right there or something?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's so hard to keep track of all of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
I know it's an area of contention and stuff, and
right.
Yeah. And of course we know that none of that really whatever they're doing here, it's all interesting and stuff, but it really doesn't have anything to do with us anymore necessarily, because we are the temple now. Whenever you have Yeshua in your heart, you are the temple. We are the body. we are his church. So whatever they're fighting about over here, it's interesting for us historically for us to understand these kinds of things and what was going on, because it gives context to what's happening today, you know?
Yeah.
But as far as, our faith and everything, this doesn't matter anymore, because God basically, in sending Yeshua to this world and to die for us, he saved the whole world. So, yeah, we're just waiting for the city to come down and all things to be made new, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
We're ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting as we get further into Ezekiel too, because the Ezekiel is where a lot of people get that idea of like the third temple and all of that from. But the more I looked at it, the more I was like, that just doesn't seem to make sense. I mean, obviously we could be wrong. They still could build a temple there, but it's like you said, it's not exactly like we are the temple. Like that's said over and over again. We're doing Hebrews in our Bible and breakfast time, and it's like so clear. If you look at that, it's like the place was done away with. We are the place.
Yes. I mean, they've got like a whole cemetery all around, and it's like, yeah, I don't know, but we need to like, they keep coming over here to Texas to get the red heifers, and people get all excited. Oh, they're getting the red heifers so that they can dedicate the temple and blah blah blah. It's like the red heifer was to make soap out of. The ashes from the heifer, and then hyssop, which is a sage. So, whenever the witches are talking about their sage smudging and stuff, that they're making incense basically out of a type of hyssop, say sage, mint, those kinds of things. And they help cleanse the air. Mint is very cleansing to the air. And so, like mice and bugs and stuff don't like the smell of mint and hyssop and sage. So there is something there, to what they're doing. And a lot of people don't. Boy, our internet just we're really struggling with the internet today. But anyway, yeah, that's what the red heifer thing. There's tons of red heifers. There are tons of red heifers, and perfect red heifers, however you want to see that. God would just said no blemish. They didn't have to be like genetically special or anything. They just had to be a really nice, healthy red heifer.
It's so funny how we overcomplicate those things. It's like,
it makes life
pretty straightforward.
Yes, it makes nice soap. It's just it's much more simple than what we think. And I think that has been the goal, to try to get us away from the farm and get people into the cities, into the factories, into the corporate world, stuff like that. It gets them away from the farm, away from the land, where they don't understand these things.
Yeah.
And, you've got children who don't know where their food comes from. You have adults who don't know where their food comes from. It comes from a package at the grocery store, and it's like, well, no, that's not really how it works.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna have to look into the Tammuz thing though, because that's gonna bug me.
Yeah, because I really, and I'm pretty sure it was Michael Rood, and I love.
Yeah, it was
older stuff. His older stuff. He's got a lot of great information, but he does kind of jump to conclusions and some things. So it's like with anybody you're listening to, always double check, always do your own research, always look and see what other people's perspectives are, look and see what the Bible actually says itself. And I thought I had looked at this, obviously, and then sometimes God just opens your eyes to something too.
Yeah, well, and it also could be possible that there is something in the spring and in the fall because they're trying to mimic the.
Yeah, that's true.
There.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness!
they're
Sorry.
trying to mimic God's thing. Yeah, I think we got the gist.
Because I mean, because we've talked about this. I mean, with so many different things, and even with what we see going on in the world right now, is the enemy is trying definitely to make things look a certain way. If it's exactly how it's played out, like we've been told in the scripture, yeah, like he's definitely doing that, right? And that's why we have to
Yeah.
remember that
Oh,
Jehovah's in control. But so, like, it would make sense that he would put this weeping for Tammuz potentially in 2 seasons because he's trying to get
because
that.
God's peace are in 2 seasons
Yeah.
as well. Yes. Yeah, everything. We need to be double checking everything because everything right now that looks evil, it's kind of like the Bible says that they call evil good and good evil. And
Yes.
we're finding that with our words, like the word bully and the word nice mean just the opposite of what we've always thought they meant. So go back to those etymologies and really look at things. And then, everything like the swastika, we've always been led to believe that that's this terrible, terrible thing. Well, it's much older than Hitler, much older than Hitler. And it is actually, it's the depiction of the Big Dipper going around the North Star. That's what it is. It's the 4 seasons of the Big Dipper going around the North Star. It's a simple thing that somebody decided to use as their symbol for their evil purposes. So we need to question everything, like Shelly has on her videos. Question.
Yes. And we have to, well, and I mean, even it's, and I think that's the thing that sometimes will get hard if you've been raised within the church, because it's like you're questioning stuff and they're going, well, but that's not it. And I'm like, but the Bible says something different here. Like,
well, I've seen it with us too, because I have some friends that were raised Jewish, that whenever they came to the Lord, they rejected all of that. And in the process, they ended up rejecting some things that were actually biblical, and then in my case I was raised New Age, and I rejected all of that, cleaned house, got rid of all of that stuff. And then the Lord has brought some things back and said, hey, actually I created these, these plants and these herbs and things like this. And so there can be a purpose for these things. And if you're not careful, you'll start to get a spirit of fear that you're afraid of anything that isn't labeled Christian, and that you'll start calling everything else evil. And we need to be careful about that thing. So whenever people started to try to take over the rainbow, and their rainbow only has 6 colors, ours has 7. I went out and painted our mailbox rainbow. I absolutely did it on purpose. And so when people drive up, and sometimes we sell puppies or something to to couples that aren't traditional couples, and we welcome them just like we welcome everybody else. I love them as people the same as anybody else, and they may think that my rainbow colored mailbox is supporting their lifestyle, but after they've talked to us for a while and they realize that we believe the Bible in a loving way, they will learn what the rainbow actually means to us. And that's what we need to do. We need to be bold, but we need to be loving at the same time.
Yes. And I think that's so much of what we're losing today. Like something that you posted with, like, someone like taking people's comments wrong and calling the police, and it's just like, no, it's like, okay, we just need to learn how to express that. And I think so much, and that's why video is probably becoming more common, is because then at least you can hear their voice, you can see their face, you can hear tone and all of that, because these messages can very easily be misconstrued. Especially if it's just like a little snip, because I may not be being snippy, but I just wrote a quick whatever, and it's like, well, what was she mad, or was that just a statement?
I found out. Yeah, a lot of the millennials, the younger people, if you answer them with a K or an OK, they take it you're mad at them. Just automatically take it that you're mad at them because you just left an OK or a K. So I'm like, okay, so then what's appropriate for me to leave to you? So it can be okie dokie or it can be KK. Yeah, whenever you're doing
that is so bizarre. I cannot even imagine that, because I'm just like, I was like, okay, like, just to acknowledge that I saw it, and
yeah, but whenever they grew up texting each other, because they grew up with these messages and things, and they have like a completely different view on it because they're trying to put those inflections in because they can't see your face and they can't, so they're trying to, it's like when we used to get letters and you're trying to read in between the lines of the letter. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to get the feel of what is this person feeling while they're writing this letter to me. And we have to be careful not to jump to conclusions about it, right? And it's way too easy to do on social media and text messaging. And it's something that we need to be very careful about our words, because I'm sorry, we do not live in a free world anymore. Not as far as that's concerned. Everybody is being censored in one way, shape, or form. And some of it is just the algorithms are written to censor us, period. So we do, and the word of God says that the power of life and death are in the tongue. God created the world that we live in with words. So we do need to be careful, and we need to speak life, and we need to be loving in what we say, but we also need to be bold. When Jesus turned over the tables in the temple, he was angry. But I don't think anybody would say that he didn't feel love at the same time. It was out of love.
Right, yeah.
He was angry.
Well, that's the zeal, right? It said, zeal for your house will consume me. That's why he did it. The word that we were just looking at with the whole jealousy thing. And it's like, and that kind of jealousy doesn't come from a place of hatred. It comes from a place of love. It's the same, like, say with like marriage. That's why the relationship we have to Jehovah is so often is in the scripture. Like it's likened to a marriage because it's a healthy jealousy. It's a healthy zeal. We need that kind of zeal, and we need, and it's one of those, how do we express that unapologetically? I think that's the hard part, is it's because we always feel like we have to come back and say, I'm sorry for.
Yeah, exactly.
But we shouldn't have to apologize for being zealous. I mean, so how do we do that in a way that's done well? And it's like, if we know, if like we've gone before the Lord and we've checked ourselves and we've prayed and we've done no offense, then we don't have to apologize for what we've said or even how we've said it. We just have to pray for those people to hear the heart behind it, and then you leave the rest in God's hands, which is hard.
Yeah.
Because you don't want people mad at you.
Yeah. I mean, whenever...
Or misunderstanding. Did I phrase it?
Genesis and Exodus, there were times whenever God, hardened hearts and softened hearts, right? And that's what we need to be praying, is that God soften the hearts of those around us and help them to have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. Okay, well, I think our internet has had about as much as our internet can handle. Oh my goodness.
So this says, you're talking about important things.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, this has been good. And if you guys, if you're watching it later, let us know. And, any questions or ideas or insights that you guys have got on some of this stuff. I love hearing it. Um, a lot of times I end up learning as much from my comment section as I do from the actual doing research myself. And I really, the Manor channel. It is the Manor.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you can
Yeah, I can
leave that for her. Did you find it?
Yeah, got it. It's hopefully sending, depending on my internet.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, super random numbers. I forgot to go change the numbers.
Well, maybe you should find a Bible verse that goes with it. A 5589 Bible verse. You might be surprised what you find.
I was like, they're not too many that have 55.
Yeah, I was gonna say there wouldn't be too many.
I was like, let's find Psalm 55. Psalm is always a good place to go, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. I would hasten to my place of refuge from the stormy wind and tempest. Confuse, O Lord, divide their tongues, for I have seen violence and strife in the city. Well, that fits with what's going on today. That's 5589.
It absolutely does. It absolutely does. You could probably do a series on 5589s. That's fun. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I had to do 8 and 9 because there's not a verse 89. I don't know,
yeah.
like...
Yep. Oh, wow.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go before grandbaby wakes up from her nap and starts screaming at me. So, thank you guys for coming. We will see y'all later.